What's up? This your boy Ambitious, host of You Can't Sit With Us Radio, checking in one time. Before this brand new episode featuring singer-songwriter Lija comes on, I need to ask a question. To all my vegetarians out there, are you allowed to eat animal crackers? Hit that comment section below and let me know if you're allowed to eat animal crackers or not. To all my vegetarians, I need to know this question. It's been on my mind for a while, and I need to know, are you allowed to eat animal crackers? And yes, I am serious. But back to your regular scheduled programming. Strikes, take it away.
What's up? It's your boy Strikes.
I thought this was a relationship. Now I see this was a situationship. Remove the spell so I can see how I was played so perfectly. I've never been much of a quitter. You lost this diamond, chasing that glitter. Every memory has a song, and trust me, yours ain't that long. Every memory has a song. Trust me, yours ain't that long.
And you are listening to You Can't Sit With Us Radio. You can't sit with us, but you can sit by the radio. Listen to us.
Threshold Brace Productions.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of You Can't Sit With Us Radio featuring myself, Ambitious. I hope everybody's having a great day out there today. As always, I keep the dopest guests on the show. Today is like no other. My guest is Lija. She is originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, living in Florida right now. She is a singer, songwriter, musician. I'm happy to have her on the show today. Lija, how are you doing today?
Well, thank you. That's a nice introduction. I feel really good about myself now. No, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How's your day been so far?
A little crazy, but I'm calming down now. This will be the calm portion of my day.
That's good. All right, so I'm gonna get into a random topic with you real quick. So,
okay.
I want to ask you, if you could have any animal as a pet, what animal would it be?
Any animal as a pet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really like cats, but it would be cool to have like a big cat. Like, I don't know, like a panther or something like that, that would be cool with me. That wouldn't like try to eat me or anything. Just, a chill panther.
Yeah, I would like to have a cheetah.
A cheetah would be cool too. Yeah. It's not a cheater, a cheetah.
Yeah, cheetah.
It's a big difference.
I thought about having an anaconda, but I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know. It's a lot of animals out here, though.
Oh yeah, there's so many. I don't know. There's like so much wildlife down here in Florida that I'm just learning about. So it's really cool.
That's good. All right, so how did you get the name Lija?
Well, I kind of combined my name Linda, which I think is really boring, even though in Spanish it means pretty. So that's cool. Okay. But, and my mom was Italian, and I guess she thought it was a nice name, but it's kind of boring to me. Oh, okay. So, and my middle name is also Jane, which is incredibly boring. So I have these two really boring names. So I thought, well, I got to do something with this because this is not working for me. So I just chopped them up, sliced and diced, made julienne fries, and my name is Lija.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I like.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right, so
when life gives you lemons,
That's true. So you're originally from Pittsburgh?
Yes. Well, like a little town north of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
It's a little town called Beaver, which, of course, there's a lot of jokes about that. Yeah. But we won't go into that right now.
I just thought about one.
We'll keep it nice. We'll keep it clean. But, yeah, that's where I'm from.
So,
yeah.
So you're living in Florida right now. So how long did you live in Pennsylvania before you moved?
Oh, pretty much most of my life. I lived in Florida once before a long time ago, but that was only for like a year. Okay. And then I ended up moving back up to Pittsburgh again. But I liked Florida. I just didn't like the other side of Florida. I'm on the West Coast where it's like the Gulf of Mexico side.
Oh, okay.
And before I was on the East Coast, kind of closer to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and it was just cray. Like, those people over there are cray. The traffic is insane, and I don't like it. So I went back to Pittsburgh, and it's a little more chill there because, you know, it's just not a big place. But then I moved to Philadelphia for like 10 years. And that's kind of crazy too, but it's not as bad. But I mean, I liked Philadelphia. I have to say, I did like it there, but still too cold for me. I was always wanting to go south. Thought about moving to Nashville for a little while, but I ended up not. I ended up moving to Florida instead.
Oh, okay.
So here I am.
So what made you move though?
There were several things. One was I just didn't like the cold weather anymore. It was just getting. I'm not a cold weather person. I never have been, and I've always been looking for a way to get out of it, to get away from the cold and just go somewhere warm where I can always be warm. And that's why I was thinking Nashville's pretty warm, and my friend Allison was there at the time and was thinking, well, we could do music down there or something together. But it still has cold winters.
Yeah, it does.
And then it's still, I mean, people don't know that. You wouldn't think it's south, but it still does. So she ended up moving to Florida, and then I ended up moving to Florida because a friend of mine from New Jersey moved down here and needed a roommate.
Oh, okay.
And so she asked me if I wanted to room with her, and I was like, I came down to visit, and I was like, yeah, definitely. Like, this place is, I mean, it's like heaven, you know? Like, who wouldn't want to live here?
Yeah.
So, unless you don't like warm weather, which, okay, then you can stay up there. Yeah. That's fine with me.
Yeah, some people don't, though.
Yeah, I know. There are people down here that complain. They'll actually complain about the heat. I'm like, what are you doing down here? You're clogging up the highways. You're clogging up my beach. Like, just go home. You know, leave me more space. So
how long you been doing music?
I'm going to say most of my life.
Okay.
Like, I started really doing music in college. Like, I was a music major. That was the first time I actually was in a band, per se. So I guess I would say college. But as far as singing, I've been doing it since I can remember because my parents were both singers. And, I mean, they sang in church, but they both harmonized with each other. And there was always a lot of music around the house. So it was just kind of always around me.
Oh, nice. Oh, you playing the instruments?
I play keyboard and guitar.
Okay.
So, I mean, I usually mostly use them to write. I'm not really fancy on either instrument.
Okay.
But I can go over to any instrument and just, if I hear a song, I can go over to an instrument and play it right away. So I have an ear for it. So that helps.
Did you teach yourself how to play guitar, keyboard?
Yeah, sort of. I had a piano at home, so I had a lot of time to just play around on it and figure things out, and that's basically what I did. And then with the guitar, that came much later, and I won a guitar in a singing competition. Okay. So I was like, well, I guess I'm supposed to have a guitar. I'm supposed to learn this thing. So it hurt really bad, and I didn't want to play it anymore because it really hurt my fingers. So I was like, no. But then I picked up an electric guitar, and that was so much easier. And I'm like, why don't people just play this instead? You know, so much easier. Just tell people to play this, and it sounds good too. So that's how I taught myself, was on an electric guitar because it was easier.
Okay, cool. So what's your approach like when you're going into the studio to do a new song? Like, what's your approach like? How do you know?
Usually I don't go into a studio except maybe if I already have the song already worked out.
Okay.
Allison and I've done some recordings together in the studio, and I've done a few of my own, but normally I do it first on my laptop or on my phone. If I have an idea for a song, I just pasting it into my phone, and then I go back and work on it later. Just so I remember what I did. And then I'll go on my laptop and I have, recording software on there. So I'll just record it directly to my computer, and then I'll work on it. I'll edit it later.
Okay.
So, it's what I like to do it. It's actually fun. I like all the technical stuff. That's fun for me. I like editing. I'm weird. I'm a geek.
like the mixing and mastering portion of it?
I like the mixing part. The mastering, I leave that to the masters.
Okay.
I'm not a master at mastering. But mixing I can do, yeah.
The mixing's pretty fun once you get the hang of it, yeah.
Yeah, and I like putting effects on it. To me, it's kind of like the Photoshop of sound, You can make it do all kinds of cool stuff.
So I always ask this question to like every artist. I'm assuming that you get writer's block a lot.
I have at times, yeah. I have at times. I try not to do that. It's hard to try not to do it, but it happens. It does. And then I usually just try to, how I press, Control Alt Delete or whatever. I go out to anywhere where there's like beautiful woods or the ocean or someplace where you can press reset, and then it just makes everything clear again. It just sort of makes me feel better, and then it gets everything flowing again. So I highly recommend that to anyone that has writer's block. Just try to do that. And I know they probably already have tried to do that, but sometimes it works pretty well.
Yeah. I know, everybody has their different ways. That's why I always ask artists that. Everybody have their different ways.
Right, everybody does. Mm-hmm. What do you do? I shouldn't interview you, but I'm asking you. What do you do?
I don't know, because I don't write though, so I don't really have something I do.
Oh, you don't write at all? Really?
I don't really write.
Well, you should try it. I bet you'd be good at it.
I should try. I don't know.
Yeah.
I try to do everything in the music, but I haven't thought about doing songwriting yet or anything like that. So.
Well, there's all different kinds of songwriting, and that's what I like about it, because you don't necessarily have to write lyrics or melodies or anything. You can just, do editing and create new songs out of other songs, which I think is awesome.
That's true.
And I think that's a talent too, to be able to do that.
That's true. I consider it.
Definitely.
So who are some of your favorite artists to listen to?
Oh, wow. There's so many different people that I love to listen to. I like all different kinds of music. So I like what's out there now, and I like the older classics too. So, and I like really, really old music from like centuries ago. So I just think music is amazing. But yeah, I mean, I like everything. I don't know. It's hard for me to pull something out. I mean, I kind of grew up listening to like classic rock,
Okay.
And, but that's what was on the radio at the time, and I didn't know any different. But I liked Motown too, and I liked Michael Jackson, and I liked, a lot of different styles. I mean, there was also alternative when it first came out, what they called grunge at the time, because all there was to listen to in the late 80s was like She's My Cherry Pie, all these like misogynistic like white boy bands with like, eye makeup on and big hair. And it was like really like, is music ever going to change? And then Nirvana came out, and then Pearl Jam came out. They actually had something to say. And it was like, wow, this is awesome, Okay. And at the same time, Michael Jackson came out with, Thriller, and I mean, he came out with Thriller right before that, but like he always came out with something else too. Mm-hmm. And so it was like there was a wide variety of different kinds of music all of a sudden, all at once, like then you had 9 Inch Nails, and you had Marilyn Manson, and you had like all this other stuff. So then you had metal. which I also like because I was in a metal band too, and I used to scream my guts out. So, and you would never guess to look at me. So, you know, I like all different kinds of music, and I like to try everything. And I like to work with all different kinds of people that do everything. So that's fun for me. Is trying to create something new.
How long was you in the metal
nobody's
band?
Ever heard. I was in metal bands off and on. Like I was in a metal band back in the late 90s. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like industrial metal, kind of like a combination of maybe 9 Inch Nails or Marilyn Manson meets like Guns N' Roses. Okay. I don't know how to explain it. It had its own kind of style. It was weird, but I was like one of the only female vocalists at the time that did metal, so it was kind of different, and I really enjoyed it. It was like a way for me to get all of my feelings out. Mm-hmm. You know, I had a lot of pent up frustrations, and you know, my mother died of cancer when I was like 24, and I don't think I ever really got that out of my system. You know, like, so I needed to get that out. I needed to just, you know, write songs that made me get out all those feelings instead of keeping them inside. And metal was really good for that. So it was really like more of a therapy for me. It was like people were paying me for my own therapy. That makes sense. But the other thing that was cool was that other people, when I would sing it, I could see other people out there singing it back to me, and they were getting all of their frustrations out too. So it was therapy for them. So it was like a big therapy session for everyone. Okay. So it was pretty awesome. There's something to be said for that kind of music.
So did you lose your voice a lot?
I tried not to, because I would go see other metal bands where people were losing their voice, mm-hmm. like, you know, amateur metal bands and local. And I would go to the person after they were done singing and say, you know, your voice has 6 months to live, you know, because you really should be not singing it that way. There's a way to sing metal where you don't injure your vocal cords and you don't develop nodules on them. So you have to be careful to sing from your diaphragm and push it out from your stomach, from your gut. It becomes very guttural. You can't sing it from your throat, or you'll really hurt your throat. You can't be that way. So that's why it's a good therapy, because your feelings are in your gut. You know, people talk about having gut feelings. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where it comes from, and that's where the music comes from. It comes from your gut. Okay. So that's why it's such a passionate form of music.
Okay. All right, so let's get into one of your songs. Let's get into Tempting the Devil. You want to talk about that song real quick?
Sure, yeah. That's a song I wrote with my girl, Allison Flynn, Tuesday. And she is a very talented vocalist, beautiful voice. We wrote the song together. She wrote the lyrics. It's about a dude. It's always about a dude. And I wrote the guitar and the melody, and so we wrote this together. I sing the first verse and the chorus, and then she sings the second verse and the chorus, and then the rest of it is us singing together, which was kind of how we used to write. When we write together, we both end up singing the song together. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I listened to it earlier. I liked it a lot. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it real quick. Tempting the Devil, and we'll be right back on You Can't Sit With Us Radio.
I walk through this life alone is without you. You blocked my ability to call to write. You blocked me the fuck out of your life. Does she do to you what you did to me? Or is she just your current reality? I'm so dispensable. It's incomprehensible. I thought you'd always be a part of me. I'm so dispensable. It's incomprehensible. I thought you'd always be a part of me. You painted a pretty picture of what you saw in me, and now your stupid girlfriend has it on her screen. You lost something real and gave me away, but if you came back, I'd still want you to stay. Did she do to you what she did to me, or is she just your current reality? I'm so dispensable. It's incomprehensible. I thought you'd always be a part of me. I'm so dispensable. It's reprehensible. I thought you'd always be a part of me. Dispensable. You're incomprehensible. I know you'll always be a part of me. Yeah. I need you back to stay with me. I'm dispensable.
Hey, welcome back to You Can't Sit With Us Radio. That was Lija with Tempting the Devil, featuring Allison Tuesday. Shout out to Allison Tuesday. If you haven't checked out her interview too, check out her interview as well. How did y'all meet, connect?
With Allison?
Yeah.
Well, at the time I was dating her uncle, and she was in college, and we had a Sunday lunch together, a big Italian dinner, Sunday lunch. And I was across the table from her, and my phone rang, and it was Big Pimpin' was my ringtone.
That's what's up.
She started cracking up, and she's like, I knew I liked you. So we hit it off after that. We were inseparable. We just were two peas in a pod.
That's cool. So I wanna have some fun with you though. So I got some random questions I want to ask you. You just give me an answer, and you just explain your answer to me. Are you ready?
Oh, sure.
All right, so
I'm up for anything.
All right, I'm gonna start you off easy. What's your favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color. Oh, that's a hard question. I'm an artist, so I love all different colors, and I love the combination of them. So this is what I always say when somebody asks me that. I say white, because white is the presence of all color.
Mm-hmm.
But if white is your favorite color, then you have to have black be your favorite color too, because it's the absence of all color, and you need contrast, or it doesn't make a good painting.
That's true.
You have to have contrast. You have to have both. So black and white are my two favorite colors.
Okay. It's like the yin and the yang.
Exactly.
So do you have any hidden talents?
Oh, hidden talent. Hidden. Oh, that's a good question. You ask good questions.
Thank you.
Things I don't think about. Hidden talents. Well, most of my talents are out there, so I have to find one that's hidden. I am able to touch my tongue to my nose, so I guess that's kind of a hidden talent.
Okay.
And I also have the ability to do the Star Trek thing with my fingers. Some people can't do that.
I can't. I wish I could do that.
That's a hidden talent.
I wish I could do that. All right, so next.
That's the only one I could think of offhand.
Okay.
I'll kick myself later because I'll think of one and I'll be like, I should have said that.
All right, so what could you wear on your head to make people stop in amazement?
What could I wear on my head? Make people stop in amazement. Well, I have worn a lampshade on my head, and I do believe that I've sent you a photograph of that.
I've seen that. Oh, man.
Yes, that was, and I think I made people stop in amazement. Hopefully I didn't cause any car accidents doing that, because I was driving at the time.
Oh, wow.
But that was when I was driving from Philadelphia to Florida.
Okay.
When I decided to move down here, and I couldn't fit everything in my car, and because I took everything with me, so the only way I could fit the lampshade was to actually wear it on my head.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, how long of a drive is that to Philly to Florida?
I think it's a 16 or 17-hour drive.
Okay.
And I didn't do it all at once, which some people have asked me, because that would be like, that would be crazy for me. I mean, not at this point in my life. So, so I did stay overnight in like South Carolina, and then drove another 8 hours to Sarasota.
Okay.
But you wouldn't think that it's that far, but it is. Like from South Carolina to that part of Florida, it's 8 hours.
Okay.
So, yeah. Long drive.
Okay. So which body part do you wish you could detach, and why?
Oh, boy. What body part? I guess maybe sometimes my nose, because it just, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I wish I didn't have to smell certain things.
Okay, yeah.
I could just like go, okay, I don't want to smell that. I'll just take my nose off, put it right there. Yeah. So.
Okay, in one sentence, how would you sum up the internet?
I would say in one sentence. I get a whole sentence. I don't have a word. A whole sentence. The internet is the highway. It's like, well, that's a hard question, but I'd say it is a highway. So, but it's like a magical, crazy highway. I'd say the internet is a magical, weird and magical highway. Weird and magical because that's how I describe myself with my newest partner that I'm working with right now musically. His name is Maya Sapphire, and we're weird and magical together. And that's also the way I would describe the internet. It's weird and magical.
Okay.
I like how I tied that all together.
That was nice.
Nice segue.
So, do you speak any other languages?
I try, but when I do, I massacre them pretty badly. So.
Well, which one would you want to learn? Like, wish you could learn?
Which one do I wish I could learn the best? Well, I kind of already know. I kind of know a little Spanish. I can understand it somewhat. But I wish I knew it really well because it seems to be the most prominent other language that's spoken right now. So that would be one. But then another language that I think would be really cool to be fluent in would be Chinese. Because I think it's an awesome language. It's very, so many different letters in their alphabet that are beautiful. It's very artistic. And then also the way they talk, and they say the same words, but they mean different things depending on how they pronounce it. So and each symbol means something. Of course, Hebrew is kind of like that too. People don't know that about Hebrew, but it's also like that. Hebrew and Chinese have a lot of similarities.
I never thought about that.
So, yeah, it's interesting. The language is very fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So I just wish I had more time to really, really study it. But we have all these distractions in our life now, don't we? So it makes it hard to really study anything anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you do it online, you know. So I've tried to do that. I had a little translator app on my phone that was trying to teach me Hebrew, and I got so far with it that it would give me little tests, and I would be so proud of myself every day. And then I stopped using it for a while, and I went back, and I took the test again, and I bombed it, and I was like, okay, this sucks. So I kind of gave up.
All right, so I was on your Instagram, and two things popped out at me. Okay, the first thing is the red balloon lover. What is that about?
I just love red balloons. I don't know what it is. They make me happy. That and kazoos. I think that everybody should have a kazoo on them at all times. And I carry one in my purse. And it's just like, if ever anybody asks me to play Freebird when I'm performing out anywhere, I pull out the kazoo and I start playing Freebird on the kazoo. And there you go. Yeah. But I feel like anything that you want can be answered with a kazoo. And that if you having a bad day, a red balloon just makes up for everything.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Okay. The second thing I saw is a lot of pictures of frogs. Are you around them all the time, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They were very around me, like about a month ago. For some reason, I guess in Florida, there was like a frog season that I was unaware of. And maybe because there was a lot of rain or something, but they were just always around. So I was like, they were pretty cool. Like, they wouldn't move. They would just sit there for me and let me take pictures of them. So I thought, why not? But then I later found out that they were Cuban tree frogs and that they're kind of invasive and they're not good for the ecosystem. So I stopped taking pictures. Okay.
So well, I would say this. Did you have, if you wasn't doing music, what else would you be doing?
I would probably be doing art because that's my other favorite thing to do.
Okay.
And I've done it off and on through my life. It's just, managing my time. But I like to do it by commission. When people approach me and say, can you do a portrait of someone that means a lot to me, I definitely love to do that because I love that. I love doing that for people. And that's been my main other passion.
What, painting?
Is doing portraits.
Is it painting and drawing, or?
I'm sorry?
A painting or a drawing?
Oh, either one.
Either one? Okay.
I like to do charcoal because it's a little bit quicker for me to do, and if somebody wants it right away, then I can get it done for them pretty quickly. But I could do a painting as well. I've done paintings for people. Like, they'll say, here's some photographs, and I need this, but I don't want this in the photograph. I want this in it instead. And so I'll do that. Like, we want this person in the picture, and we don't want this person in. And then they give me a bunch of different photographs. So I'll do it that way.
Okay.
It's kind of like photoshopping, except with paint.
Okay. Okay. So what inspires you?
A lot of things, but mostly like nature really inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
Music really inspires me. Colors, light, the spirituality of this realm that we're in, of this dimension. Just the connection of the spirit that we all have with each other. I love that. And especially when it comes from a positive place and a good place. And I like that. That inspires me.
Okay. Nice. All right, so let's get into your second song. I think this one is called TK 5 Buzz.
It's called what?
Is this one called TK 5 Buzz?
Oh. That's track 5.
Track 5? Oh, okay.
It's called Buzz. Yeah, it's called Buzz. That's about the song is about me not being able to ask people for help.
Okay.
I'm really bad at it.
It's something you got to work on?
Yeah, I'm getting a little better at it, but it's like I just try to deny that I need any help, and I just try to do everything myself until I get myself into a situation where I'm like, I really have to ask for help. So, yeah, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek song about that.
Okay. All right, so let's get into Buzz real quick, and we'll be right back on You Can't Sit With Us Radio. Welcome back to You Can't Sit With Us Radio. So, Lija, so talk about your group duo that you have.
The acoustic duo that I currently am in.
Yes.
I'm in. It's called Maya and Lija. Mm-hmm. Maya Sapphire is the other performer, and I am Lija Moore, and we call ourselves Maya and Lija, Weird and Magical. And we just, we have written our own songs together. We also do covers too, but, at the moment, but we really have, I think, the ability to write some pretty cool songs. We have a few that are just kind of happy little songs. Like there's one called, Crazy for You. And it's just a happy little song. And then we wrote this other one that's kind of heavier, kind of like more melancholy and kind of mysterious sounding to me. And that one's called Ethereal. And that one is the one I sent you the track of. Okay. But anyway, we're both very interesting people in our own right. But Maya Sapphire is the only cross-dresser in Florida who actually can sing well and play well and actually writes music, as far as I know, that actually performs live. So there's a market for that, and I believe that Maya has cornered the market.
Okay. That's good. That's good, though. And so what's your...
And as far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
No, I was just, as far as I'm concerned, it's like we like to like perform and do our own thing and our own. But it usually includes like we're either dressed up very like kind of very blingy, like a lot of bling, and sometimes we'll wear like really fiery wigs, like hot pink wigs or whatever. But it's an interesting experience. It's like a visual and sound experience, that it's like you get like a whole show with us. It's not just two people up there like not knowing what to do. Although sometimes we don't know what to do. What song are we doing next? I don't know. What do you want to do?
So what's your ultimate goal when it comes to your music?
My ultimate goal is to really reach and connect with other people. Because I didn't know that was possible. I was always an introvert, and I didn't like talking, although it's hard for you to believe that right now. But I was really, I really like to keep to myself, and I didn't really like being in front of people at all. So it was very difficult for me to become a performer. I would much rather prefer being in a studio making music. But I pushed myself out there and made myself do it. And once I finally conquered that fear of being in front of people, it became very not only therapeutic but cathartic for me, because I was able to reach other people. When I'd see other people out there making eye contact with me, and I felt like they were relating to me on a level that was beyond the physical. It was just, something was happening. There was a connection with each person that I was singing to in the room. That's when you know that something is happening, and then it's good, and it's very positive, and that's what I want. That's the goal that I have. Whether I'm playing for 3 people or for thousands of people, if I can, impact them in a very positive way, that's what I want to do.
Okay, it's good. Yeah, it's the same way with me. I'm surprised I do this podcast too, because I'm not much of a talker neither, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't normally like to talk. Yeah. I prefer to just work on my art, but I'm forced to do it. I make myself do it now, and it's good because that's kind of like what you're doing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I have 2 different personalities sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel too. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a different feeling when you're up in front of people and you have to be able to communicate, and in more than just one way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So my last question to you is, how has your music evolved since you first started?
Wow, it's evolved a lot. I think when I first started out, I just didn't even know what I was capable of, and I just felt like I'm just going to put this out there and see what happens. And I was just excited to even be able to record anything, because I had always wanted to. I used to sneak into recording studios when I was in high school and just watch them work, and I thought it was magical. Like, wow, look at what they're doing. And I never thought I'd be able to do that myself. And then once I found out that I could, and that, technology was awesome, and I could do it myself, I was so excited. So then when I was able to finally go beyond even just recording and performing in front of people and see what I could do and how I could evolve into that, and the confidence that it takes to do that, and then past that, as I was saying before, making the connections with other people, that that's when I saw the evolution happen slowly, gradually.
Okay, that's good. All right, so yeah, thank you for being on the show. As always, though,
My pleasure.
As always, I always give my guests the opportunity to ask me a question. So, Lija, what is your questions to me?
Okay. My question is, what do you enjoy doing the most?
The most? Either working out or making music, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, between them
It's
two.
kind of like a combination of the two there, like, because you probably feel the same amount of endorphins rushing through your brain when you do both of those things.
Yep. You do.
Yeah, that's cool. And what do you like the most about music? What does it do for you?
It puts me in just a good place, like, especially, you having a bad day or something, and the first thing you can do is either write a song, make music, make beats, whatever whatever you're good at, it's like a sanctuary for yourself to get away from everything, or just like just listening to music, period, just getting away from everything. So
right. What do you do the best in music? What's the thing that you enjoy doing? Like, what is it that you think you do the best in music?
I would say right now it's just I do so many things now. Because I'm trying to get into more of the business side of music. So like right now, I would say right now just doing this podcast though. That's probably my best thing I do right now. I was producing a lot in the past, but I've stepped away from it a little bit. But because I got my own, production team and everything, so I try to.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to build my production team more and everything. So I would just say building on different things, either with the podcast or music. Just building. I think just building and just trying to promote and market would be like my best things that I do.
Well, that's an awesome thing to be able to do because it's not easy. Everybody thinks that, it's being a musician is an easy thing, or that, you're just a musician. But most musicians don't really have to think about it, or they don't until they have to think about promoting themselves and how to do it. And then once it becomes this task, it's like, how do I do this? It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
So if you're good at it, that you've got like a great gift, because it is a gift. It's a talent.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the talent I wish I had. I'm not good at promoting myself at all. I'm really not. I'm much better at just making the music instead of actually thinking about how to make it go out there. I just always thought if it's meant to be, it'll happen, But sometimes you have to make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on a lot, trying to promote and market more.
That's great.
Any more questions?
I'll ask you what your favorite color is.
I'll probably go with red. I would say red.
Red's your favorite color. Right. Why do you like red? Is it because of the red balloon thing?
No, not that. No. I don't know. I've always been a fan of like red and black though. Like I like red and black together, so I just don't know.
Yeah.
I've just been a fan of that.
Those are very powerful colors, red and black. Yeah, those are the power colors.
Yeah, I like those colors. So yeah, I don't really have a reason though. It's just what I like.
Interesting.
Is it? You got any more questions?
I can't think of any right now.
Okay.
I probably will later, and then I'll call you later. I should have asked you this. Oh, where you're in Nashville, is that right?
Yes.
Why are you from Nashville originally, or
Yes.
did you? Okay, so what is your take on Nashville? How do you feel about being in Nashville?
I mean, it's nice. It's growing. Let's put it like this, growing a lot, and so of course there's more and more traffic, and more people, and then of course the crime is going up like tremendously. So, I mean, you know, it's got its wins and losses. It's 50-50 at this point, because it's growing, of course, but then, like I said, the crime is getting worse and traffic is getting worse, and so.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
turning into a city. It's turning into like a big city, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be almost like Atlanta or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just in Atlanta last month. Oh, my God, that traffic is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to live there.
It's terrible.
I don't want to live. So that was the other thing, too, about Nashville or living in that way. You guys aren't close to an ocean, and I need to be near an ocean. I want to have salt water nearby.
That would be nice.
So, yeah. Well, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
That's a good question. Oh, and I thought about Australia, maybe. Trying to think. Maybe
Australia might be nice.
Maybe Paris, though. I'll say Paris.
Really?
Yeah.
Paris? Why Paris?
Oh no, it just looks nice. It seems nice.
It looks nice?
Yeah. I don't know, it's a lot of places though. I say Australia, and Paris. Yeah, that's all.
Now I got you thinking.
Yeah. That's all I got right now.
Yeah. Do you like warm weather or cold weather?
Warm.
Or does it not matter to you?
No, I like warm better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you like seasons? Do you like seasons?
Yeah, as long as I don't get sick.
Yeah, see, that's what I say.
As long as I don't get sick, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's not that you could still get sick down here, but if you're careful and you don't leave yourself open to being around other people who are sick, you can get away. Like I didn't get sick last year when everybody else got sick down here. I didn't. But you just have to be careful. That's all. Mm-hmm. Just, but it's not like up north when you get sick. When I get sick up there, it was like, I'd be like, the cough would be horrible. I'd feel like I was dying.
Wow.
You couldn't get warm. And yeah, it's not like that here.
Oh, wow.
If you get sick down here, you just have to blow your nose a lot. That's it.
All right, so thank you again for being on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Do you wanna
My
shout
pleasure.
out? You wanna shout out your social media? Anything else you wanna say before we go?
Oh yeah. There's an event coming up that we're going to be, Maya and Lija are going to be participating in. It's called Turn the Tide. And it's because of the red tide that's happening down here right now in Sarasota, which is there are toxic algae blooms out to sea caused by the deregulation of chemicals being dumped into the ocean. And so the toxic algae blooms are being eaten by fish and wildlife, and then they're washing up to shore dead, and then everybody's getting sick from it. So it's affecting businesses, it's affecting people's health. So we're having this event called Turn the Tide. We're participating in it, and it's on August 25th, and it's at a place called Cock and Bowl, which is a bar area. It's a big bar that looks like a barn has an outdoor stage and an indoor stage, and it's going to be in Sarasota, and we're just going to be holding this to try to make people aware of the situation and help other people out of the area, and then people in the community coming together to try to find a solution to the red tide situation. So that's our next event that's coming up that we're promoting that. And also you can look me up on Facebook, Lija Moore Music, Maya and Lija, that's spelled MYIA and LIJA. And that's on Facebook. And then on Instagram, it's Maya and Lija. And then also I'm Vince Moore on Instagram. I also have another page called Siesta Key Colors, which is my photography. I take a lot of photographs of the beauty around me because I love nature, and it's a lot of beautiful sunsets over the ocean and just the beauty of the nature and the colors around here. So
nice.
You can check that out too on Instagram.
Okay, very nice. Are you gonna make like a flyer for that event or anything?
We have it on Facebook. It's called Turn the Tide. If you look that event up in Sarasota, you'll be able to find that on Facebook. Okay. But there is we can make a flyer from that event because it's the actual photo on the event has all the information on it, like a flyer.
Okay.
So that would work.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you again for being on the show. Shout out to Allison Tuesday again. I appreciate you.
Yes. Yay, yeah. Allison. I love you.
We're actually working on a song together, so I'm excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, she's got a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, as always, you can follow me at Ambitious1K on Instagram, Ambitious1000 on Twitter. Follow my production group, Threshold Brace, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, You Can't Sit With Us Radio, El Ambitious, I'm out. Yes, yes. Thank you for listening to another episode of You Can't Sit With Us Radio. And to all my vegetarians out there, make sure you hit that comment section below. Let me know if you're allowed to eat animal crackers or not. And also, while you're doing that, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the channel as well. It would be greatly appreciated. Man, until next time, man, one love, show love, spray love, fuck racism, impossible is nothing. Deuces.
Threshold Brace Productions.